Mark in the count. The swing arm now coming back as our countdown continues.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday. And I am joined today by a brew drinker and Adam Van Winkler, aka, actually, it sounds better when you say it. What do you go by on Instagram?
I'm playing with myself.
Yes, he is. Indeed. He may, in fact, be doing so at the moment. But
no pants.
Special deal today. Welcome, everybody. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. Hopefully, you're getting a long weekend and happy MLK Day in advance. That's what I'm noting it is. But today is going to be kind of a special deal. We're doing a cover story. Not going to do the normal news as we do. Maybe I would love to have Adam back another day to actually just talk through a bunch of other people's toys. But today we're going to focus on the Cursed Dead. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to go put ourselves over here. And this is the Cursed Dead, folks. This is the Kickstarter that we're going to talk about. And this guy, along with, let's name check, Phil Ramirez and
Josh Falcon, who is the younger brother of Jesse Falcon. Yeah,
because there's several Falcons involved in your media press tour. So
exactly. Yeah, we've been having, Jesse's been jumping on more. Josh is, for work, he travels all the time. Gotcha. He also has a youngin', so... we all of us have kids, but he has the youngest of the kids. So he's been otherwise occupied. I'm hoping to get him on a stream at some point coming up. But Josh and Phil have been best friends forever. Phil has obviously been working in the toy industry for 30 plus years and worked for Jesse Falcon on so many different toy lines. So they've been really tight for a long time. I have been in the toy industry since 2001. I moved to LA in 2005. And then I was working at Soda Toys at the time, which was doing, Street Fighter and now playing. And then a job opening popped up at Gentle Giant Studios in October of 2006. Okay. I went, interviewed for it, started basically immediately, and I've been working there ever since. So this is my 19th year at Gentle Giant Studios. I am the creative director, so I oversee the prototyping division. So any of the toy companies that come to Gentle Giant Studios, like Hasbro, Mattel, Diamond, Dark Horse, Jazzwares, you name it. We've worked with every single major toy company and a ton of minor ones. They come to us and they hire us to do some aspect of creating prototypes, whether that's digital sculpting, 3D printing, molding, casting, painting, you name it. We also offer manufacturing services. So we do start to finish. It could even be just as simple as concept artwork. So gotcha. Every service in the toy industry is available at Gentle Giant Studios, and I'm the one overseeing that. So I'm working with all of our artists in-house, and then I am the person that is going back and forth with the clients as well. So I'm the main point of contact there.
Yeah, creative director wearing many hats. But take a look at this stuff. But it's context. It's context. And
I, more than anything, I encourage people to back these indie toy lines. And it's I know that they can be a little bit more expensive than, what you're used to with mass market, or even even the high end, like the Mezcos of the world, the SHF, the Mayfex. And it's like, these are all companies that we're trying to start out. And I super respect Vala for, a couple of waves in, he's able to work out a deal with his factory where he's, either the minimum order quantity units have changed or whatever, and he's getting better deals from his factory and passes on those savings with the price drops to the customers. And it's like, that's dope. I hope that someday we get far enough along that we can start doing the same thing. So our figures are all priced based on us trying to just make these things a reality. It's not like, oh, we're pulling numbers out of our butts. It's like, no, we sent everything to the factory before we launched our campaign, and all of our pricing is based on factory costs. So that's what we're looking at here. 5 basic figures, 4 deluxe, and like they're priced so that way we can make these things and we can make high quality figures. That's what we're looking to do.
Let's go there since you brought it up, and then we'll go back to Phil's sort of bona fides. But this is the goal: $175,000. As you just sort of flew by, like, they understand this process. They've worked with the factory to have a conversation around how much things are going to cost. I'm going to assume that, like, yeah, you probably packed in some wiggle room, but still knowing how these things go, like, we want to move way past that 175,000 goal to make this like really,
happen. To be perfectly honest, like we want to move past the $175,000 goal and into the stretch goals and everything too, because toys do cost quite a bit of money to make. $175,000 is our goal, but if we just squeak by, if we make our $175,000, Phil, Josh, and myself, we're gonna have to take a loan out from a bank to cover full production costs, because tooling is very expensive, and then we have 9 figures that we're making, and you have to hit minimum order quantities with the factory, so you have to make thousands, and we have 9 of our characters. So if you take those 9 figures and you multiply that by thousands, and then the unit cost for the factory plus the tooling, it's more expensive than that to produce our toy line. We're absolutely prepared to do that. Like, that's it's a thing. And that's why we set the goal, because we were like, hey, we don't want to make a goal that sounds absolutely crazy to people. We want one that sounds, reasonable. But to produce this toy line, it's going to cost more money than that. And that's like to show you guys that, like, this isn't some, fly by night, like, cash grab. It's like, no, we're making this because we're passionate about it. And this isn't like, at least not with wave 1, we're not trying to make money. We're just trying not to lose money.
Right.
Like we do. Like, I love working in toys, but I live paycheck to paycheck. I have credit card debt. I buy too many toys. Like, me, I'm not like some rich dude, and I can't bankroll this project. So we're just trying to be realistic with our prices here.
Okay, let me say, I laugh when folks are like, this impression that somehow this is a cash grab or whatever. It's like, man, you straight up said it. If we get 175,000, we're taking out a loan. But it's the passion, right? It's like, and we know that, like, you're clearly, like, you and Phil have been basically a lifetime of working on these toys.
Oh, so Phil was almost like a child worker in the industry. Like, he started at 17 sculpting Playmates Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Right. So it's not like you don't have a creative outlet to do this stuff, but I know there's a difference in you just said, I'm a creative director, and we're working with these other companies who like these big licenses. So there's a lot of people, like cooks in the kitchen, right? Giving comments, giving notes, saying, no, we need to hit this. No, we need to pull this budget back. So we got to change this. This is the opportunity for you, Phil, Josh,
Jesse will be very happy. He's our cheerleader. So
to take something from beginning to end.
Absolutely.
This concept of this, like, this super unique concept of, like, hey, let's do these I don't mean this in any negative way, because some people are like, B movie. No, that's a badge of honor. But like horror B movie characters, like an anthology, and be like, hey, what if we were producing films? I know I heard Phil name check, was it Tales from the Crypt? Like, hey, every time we're gonna do this like horror, like, little movie, and we're going to take the monster or the creature, and they're going to be front in the spotlight, and this is the Dr. Scante. right, movie, and here is the figure. This is the Gordy movie, and here is the awesome figure for you to take home. Like all of that stuff, I think is super brilliant, and we haven't quite seen it in that way. And so this is a big deal. This is why it's worth trying to get people to back. So again, if you're into action figures, I think the reason I keep bringing folks on with Kickstarters here and try and push the indie thing is I think if we're going to keep this sort of space of action figures alive and healthy and innovative, supporting the indies is super important, despite it being maybe just a little more expensive than you're used to picking up figs at Target. But I will say, in this day and age, like if I look at the toys that I have on my shelf, right, they're not, I'm already paying $35 to $40 for figures. And if I can take some of that money to buy 1, 2, or more to make something new happen, to broaden the landscape of toys, I'm all for it.
Even the indie toy community, I love seeing support back and forth with that stuff, because like, even, you know, when it comes to, I was talking about this with Mortal Ruin and being like, oh, at first glance, it might just look like another military focused line, but it's like, hey, the idea, guys, is that these lines can coexist, you know, like it, just because Marvel makes superheroes doesn't mean that DC can't make superheroes, you know, like it's like, there's a healthiness to this. So it's like, there's nothing to be said where you have to like pick sides or something. It's like, no,
garbage.
You know, having cool toys is a good thing. So having choices is cool. And then also buying from each of them and having them coexist on your shelves in toy photography, on separate shelves, on shelves together, whatever. It's cool. Trust me, I buy a ton of toy lines. You don't have to pick and choose.
Nope, you really don't, man. See, like Marvel and DC, they can hang out together, folks. That's the beauty of where we're in. Like I grew up loving this guy, and I grew up loving this guy, and now they're hanging out on my shelf playing with AWOC and whoever else, right? So let's go ahead and talk in proper. Look at that. Look at that. I love to see that number move. We are trying to get to 175,000. As folks who are familiar with the Kickstarters, there's sort of a normal like reverse bell curve, I guess, right? Where it's like there's a valley, a lot of activity in the beginning, a little bit of a lull in that middle, and then all of a sudden there's a ramp up. So we're definitely looking forward to the ramp up, but it doesn't have to be that way, folks. Like as you've said a bunch of times,
now it helps everyone. It helps. Obviously, it helps the Cursed Dead team because we get closer to that goal, but it also will help every one of the other backers because we get closer to unlocking stretch goals. And if we hit those stretch goals, if we were in the perfect world and we start surpassing stretch goals, I would like to do something beyond what we've shown and what we've teased, and maybe start including some additional items with like it's like we will have made enough money where we don't have to go and get a bank loan. So we will have enough money that we can potentially use towards giving people extra value for these releases, for these figures as is. So, I don't want to put the cart too far ahead of the horse on that one, but the idea is that like, I really respect in like the McFarlane Kickstarters where it's like, instead of there being additional items as he hits, different levels and goals, he starts including accessories and bits and pieces with the figure that's intended to be what the campaign is. So I kind of want to follow in that vein if we're given that opportunity.